We're gonna record some stuff about Seer. Seer is kind of getting blamed for the meta at the moment, which is ironic because his whole backstory is him getting blamed for things that aren't his fault. It's so funny to me that we nerfed him about a week after, maybe 2 weeks after his release, and haven't touched him since. And suddenly, because like one person started playing him in comp, just because like his Watson started playing him in comp, and then Imperial Hal started playing him in comp, and then everybody realized the Seer was really good. After a year of not touching this legend, after all that time, we finally started playing Seer. We finally realized that Seer was good all along. Nothing changed. None of the other legends changed. Literally, we just realized that Seer was good. I've never seen that happen in any other game, ever. And it's certainly not accurate to say that he just hasn't been meta this entire time. He has been meta the whole time, just not in comp lobbies. He's been meta in high-ranking console lobbies. It's actually been very popular there. I think I heard he was most popular among Xbox spreads. So he's been there the whole time. Been popular the whole time. But obviously when it comes to console lobbies versus PC lobbies, number one, none of the pros play on console, right? So there won't be much crossover in that way. Number two, there's definitely a, like... Oh my gosh, what's happening to the game? There are definitely some people that look down on console players versus PC players. Certainly among pros, that's the case. So even though it was, like, Seer was seeing a lot of success over on the console side, there was a lot of bias, and there was a lot of, you know, like, no, it's not going to work in this scenario, right? That sort of thing. There's also the fact that pros generally consider competitive play to be significantly different. They generally think competitive play cannot be played the same way as ranked. Generally, that's the thought process, right? Like, you can't play comp the way you play ranked. They're not the same. The requirements are different. For some reason, it's a different game. People play differently. Therefore, you have to play differently. So then, what made this change? What brought that change about? Well, we mentioned his Watson earlier. His Watson comes in. He's a ranked grinder. Gets signed to Furia. He's gonna IGL for Furia. And he had some comp experience, but not a whole lot. And basically went into it with this mentality of, well, I'm going to play comp basically the way I play ranked. And he was trying it in scrims, and they were like, the way he put it was that he was inting. I'm getting this all from the Apex podcast, and I guess I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. It's a really good podcast. The first episode has an interview with his Watson, which is really, really fun to listen to. You should really check it out. But yeah, so basically has this mentality of, well, I'm going to, like, they tried it in scrims and they figured out, well, I'm just going to play the way that we play in ranked. We're going to int teams, we're going to push teams, we're gonna... Dude, come get this blue shield. Will you come get this blue shield? Like, they tried it in scrims, they tried it in LCQ, and they were like, well, it's working. If it works here, then surely it's gonna work. Like, we should just try it. We should just try this in comp. And they tried it in comp. And it worked in comp. And suddenly everybody realizes that Seer is great. Seer has been great. Seer always was great. But then the question is, what is it, like, obviously I'm describing their playstyle as inting, because that's what his Watson says. Like, he basically describes it as just inting on teams, picking fights. So what is it about Seer that helps you with that playstyle? What is it about Seer that makes that easier? One thing that's pretty obvious is you can ADS and figure out whether somebody's ratting on you. You don't have to worry about getting ratted, and you've got that little bit of added consistency because of that. That's pretty good. That's probably not the biggest reason that teams play them, but it is a nice little touch. It is nice to have that bit of security, like I can check around and I can see if there's an entire team on me. Then obviously his ult is great in a fight. You can basically activate his ult and the other team has two choices. They can either fight inside your ult and you get to see them all the time so they never get a free peek, or they can back off, so it gives you a reset. So either way, huge advantage, and the cooldown is disgusting. Here, let's get him. See, now nobody can push on this. Like they could push on this. It's not like they're not allowed to. It's just that if they tried to push on it, then we see everything they're doing, right? See if I can get an angle here. Are we in ranked? Yeah, we need to get in there. Yeah, we need. There's another team coming in. I probably should have saved. Probably should have saved my ult, to be honest. It didn't really end up helping me. I thought that team would push us. Right, he's cracked. Well, that was a terrible Seer ult. Yeah, no, I'm gonna try and res you. Like, literally, we activated this ult, like, how long ago? We're about to have it up again. Yeah, I know. I can't do anything about it. Can you smoke him? We could get him out. There we go. Nice, nice. And see, I know where these people are now. Like, they can't push me. They can't effectively push me. Let's get in here real quick. Oh my gosh, you were like right on me. And see, they didn't leave fast enough, so they're gonna get wiped here. Yeah, I know. I gotta heal real quick. Yeah, see, like, we activate the ult, and they either have to take their attention off of us to get us. So those are the two choices they have. They can take their attention off of us, and... Oh, I need so much energy ammo. They can take their attention off of us and shoot the ult, which is fine, because I don't care. And even if you miss his tactical, honestly, it doesn't matter. Even when you miss the tactical, you're still forcing the other person to move, usually. So they have to take their attention off of whatever they're doing, move so they don't get hit by that tactical. And the biggest thing, and I didn't get to showcase it in that last fight because I kept missing, I think, but the biggest deal about this is that his tactical cancels freaking animations. It cancels animations, it cancels reses. It cancels things. That's ridiculous. Literally, like, that cannot be overstated. The ability to look at somebody else who is doing something, say, no, you don't get to do that thing. Just press a button and cancel something they're doing. That's insane. That is by far the most important part about Seer, and that cannot be overstated. Especially because the radius is big enough to where you can just like, and it's the biggest deal is when you're fighting when you're fighting a Gibby team, right? You knock somebody, Gibby bubbles, he's gonna res. You get in, you let him get a little bit of the res off because that's what the best Seers will do. I'm not very good at Seer, but that's what the best ones will do. Let him get a bit of that res off, then you activate it, cancel his res at the very last second. Like you prevent teams from resetting. It's actually insane.
Look, enemy over here.
There we go. Being a recon legend, he's still surprisingly aggressive, and it's great. Alright, so let's get this way. So basically, as I'm thinking about Seer, I'm thinking about, is he actually overpowered? Is he actually broken? Well, I do think he's a little bit too versatile. I think the fact that, like, I just used that ult, and yeah, I'm not gonna have it for this fight. I misused that ult. I did not need to use it that quickly. Alright, we gotta get out. That is a rampage. So yeah, I misused that ult. I didn't need to use it so soon. It's already at 30%. Like, that's kind of crazy, actually. Alright, bud. Well, we got that kill. Getting a good bit of RP, so honestly, I don't care if we lose at this point.
30 seconds until that ring closes.
You guys shouldn't be there.
Shields are recharging.
Are they gonna push us? At least distract them.
10 seconds, my friends.
Are they running around? Yeah, they're running around. Is he actually overpowered? I really don't think so. But I do think he's a little, like, it's not punishing enough when you make mistakes. That's the biggest problem, I think. I like where his Q's at. I don't like where his ult's at. Like, I'm about to have my ult back up. It feels like it's been no time at all. Be really nice if we had.
My ultimate is ready and waiting. This way.
Didn't I just bat? Oh no. Oh well, that's fine. But yeah, I think his ult should be a little more punishing when you misuse it, because it is giving, like, really great wall hacks. And it's effective enough to where teams either don't push you or they lose. 9 times out of 10, they either don't push you because they're scared, or they lose. This was a good team. This game went well. They either don't push you because they can't, or they lose, or the third option is they play Seer. And that's another reason why, see, the more people play Seer, the more people have to play Seer to counter his ult, to effectively counter his ult if you still want to fight. Because two teams that both have wall hacks on each other, it's annoying. It's really annoying to watch. But you can fight now, right? So I think his ult cooldown could be a little longer. It could be a little more punishing when you misuse his ult. I don't have a problem with this passive. Like, yes, it's great. It's very useful, and it prevents you from getting ratted, and yes, it is useful in fights as well. But honestly, I don't think it's useful enough in fights. I don't think it's really the biggest problem, to be honest with you. I think the biggest problem with him is his Q. Not the cooldown on it, but the fact that it can cancel things. Like, and I just don't see a need for him to cancel anything. Like, why, like, if Recon Legends are about gathering information, then why does he need to be able to decide whether or not you finish your action, right? Like, why does he need to be able to cancel your bat or your medkit or your res? That just doesn't, like, that doesn't seem necessary to me. And I think if you remove it, like, Seer mains will be fine. And honestly, anybody that stops maining Seer after that, if that's the only thing that stops you, I don't know if this is gonna work. You can track that close? Nice. Okay, that worked. These guys might win it. There's so many Bangalores in the lobbies too. But yeah, I think you can remove the cancel and Seer will be just fine. People will still play him. He will still be viable in comp. He just won't be like this Gibby ending force. Now, I'm not sure Respawn's going to do that. And the reason I'm not sure of that is because it seems to me like Respawn is trying to move away from the Gibby meta. Is there a reason you would go that way? No, they're under you. Like, they're clearly under you. Bro, are we playing, like, literal bronze kids? Did I go into ranked or not? Yeah, I went into ranked. So, I'm not sure they will remove the cancel effect, because, like, they are trying to move away from a Gibby, like, meta and comp. They win this easy. Yeah, they win this. So, is Seer annoying to have in the game? Yes. Wall hacks all the time, especially with the radar, is annoying, and I don't like it. Is he broken with the canceling on his Q? Yeah, I think so. But if you took that away, I think you would see Seer seeing less success. That's a tongue twister. Seer seeing... I think Seer would be less prominent, in a much healthier state. You're gonna finish him with the Bangalore ult. But yeah, remove the cancel, and I think Seer is in a much healthier state. I think he's winning less games. I think he's considered less of a must-have. I think, especially in comp, because my biggest thing is comp. And I think in comp, you start seeing people play more Maggie, if they're really that interested. If they're really that interested in, you know, combating the Gibby meta, then they'll just play Mad Maggie, right? That's what I'm thinking. And honestly, I would rather not have a legend that has a radar anyways when nobody else has a radar. Like, as somebody who played Halo growing up, I love having a radar in a shooter because I love not having to worry about that with my game sense. But I understand why it messes the game up, right? I understand why it's a problem. So I'd rather not have him in the game at all, to be honest. And if you took his passive away, I think that, like, I think the game would be a little bit better for it, but he's also kind of like, his Q is not useful if you take his passive away. So it's another potential rework, I think, since Seer is he's a quote unquote recon legend, but like he's really aggressive. I think if you limited his heartbeat to people he'd shot, kind of like with how Mad Maggie has like oh, that's a nice little score boost, but kind of like how Mad Maggie has that little highlight ability, you know, like that little red outline whenever she hits somebody. I think if you limited his heartbeat to that, then he's still aggressive and you can still use him really well in fights, but he's not just like, he doesn't have wall hacks 100% of the time for free, right? Those are my thoughts. Take away the cancel, maybe limit the heartbeat to people he's already shot, or maybe his team is shot even, and Seer's fine after that. I don't think he's really that broken. I don't think we really need to adjust that much. Maybe increase his ult cooldown, because I do think it's a little too free, but other than that, honestly fine. If you watched this whole video, thank you for listening. I'm going to have more stuff, probably talking about Vantage, the new legend, next week, so tune in for that. We also stream here. I'm going to start streaming regularly on Mondays, starting, I think, the second week of September. So tune in for that. No. I'm going to start regular streaming soon. I'm trying to figure out a good schedule that I can set. I still have to figure things out with work and all that. So keep in touch for that. Keep checking up the channel. I will eventually have it posted like on the main channel, and you will be able to see when I'm streaming. So thanks so much for listening, and hope you guys have a great day.